Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to both our witnesses. And that's a good jumping off point for my question, really following up on Senator Portman's question. Has the administration made clear to Turkey in no uncertain terms that an attack on Kurdish groups in northern Syria is unacceptable to the United States? After all, as has been said, the SDF is critical to the fight against ISIS. So have we communicated that that is a clear no-go zone for the United States?
Yes, Senator.
Ambassador Leaf and then Ms. Stroll.
Let me just add to what Ambassador Leaf just confirmed, which is that we are focused on the enduring defeat of ISIS, on maintaining protections for the civilian population in northeast Syria, and of course on the protection of U.S. forces and coalition forces. Large-scale incursions either by Turkish military or by Turkish-supported opposition in Syria would have a negative impact and jeopardize our commitment to the de-ISIS mission. We make that clear consistently.
Thank you. As you know, Turkey has indicated that they'd like to purchase additional F-16s and upgrades for some of their existing F-16s. How would a Turkish military action in northern Syria impact the administration's decision making on that?
Senator, it's pre-decisional, and I wouldn't have anything that I could offer you today.
Well, I hope we're communicating very clearly to Turkey that would be an unacceptable step. As we know, Turkey is currently threatening to hold up the admission of both Finland and Sweden to NATO because of those countries' support for Syrian Kurds. So it seems to me a moment where we have to communicate very clearly to Turkey what the red lines are here. Let me ask you about economic support in northern Syria, and I want to commend the administration for the granting of general licenses. Ambassador Leaf, can you talk a little bit about how those additional economic support funds are being implemented on the ground?
So in terms of General License 22, Senator, this came about through the very helpful suggestion by the chairman and Senator Rubio that we look to enhance the opportunities for economic regeneration in the areas liberated from ISIS, and that is what this license is all about: is assisting the communities, the people of those areas, to engage in commercial activity and so forth that will create resiliency and put at bay the prospects for ISIS returning to those areas.
Are there any new initiatives that have been undertaken? Can you just talk a little more specifically about how some of those funds are being used?
I'm sorry, Senator, I thought you were talking about the general license. You're talking about economic support?
Well, actually, I did mention both. You're right. In terms of the general license, how is that? Have you seen any positive impacts to date from that?
It's a relatively new development. I will dig into that and come back to you with a more detailed assessment as to how that is, what impact that is having.
Thanks. So my final question relates to the upcoming July vote in the UN Security Council about the humanitarian corridor, and I understand that Senator Risch asked about this, and you indicated that we went through this last year, and of course at the end, we were able to maintain the corridor. Obviously, big things happened since last July and this July, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. What would be the impact if Russia was to veto it or prevent that action this year?
Senator, not to put too fine a point upon it, it would trigger a massive humanitarian crisis. There's no substitute for the Bab al-Hawa cross-border access point. As part of last year's discussions, the 2585 language included a commitment that cross-line assistance would also be prioritized. And indeed, there have been those efforts throughout the year. But to give you a sense of the scale, something on the order of 1.5 million Syrians are serviced through Bab al-Hawa on an average month. There have been 4 cross-border conveyances of material and foodstuffs and other commodities to Syrians in the Northwest over the course of the year. The last one, I think, was able to provide provisions for about 43,000 Syrians. So the scale is entirely different. The U.S. is committed to getting humanitarian assistance through to the needy through all possible means, but there's no question that cross-border access is the single most important piece of that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.